Hey guys, it's Forrest from the Living on Lake LBJ channel, and today we're going to be digging into a full map tour of Lake Lyndon B. Johnson. All right, let's get into it. So first place we're going to talk about is probably the most recognizable neighborhood on Lake LBJ. If you're not familiar with Lake LBJ, you may even be familiar with this area. We're talking about Horseshoe Bay. All right, Horseshoe Bay was incorporated in 2005. It's got a population of about 4,200 people, and it is a really fast growing community. There's construction going on all over town. And a lot of this has to do with the explosion of the growth we've seen in Austin. Some of them want to get out of the bustling city life in the weekends and on their days off, so they end up getting property out here in Horseshoe Bay. One of the main things Horseshoe Bay is known for is obviously the resort and hotel, and another great part of Horseshoe Bay, they have some wonderful golf. You see a couple of the golf courses mentioned here on the map. I believe there's like 5 or 6 total golf courses within the city of Horseshoe Bay, and they are really some of the world-class golf courses designed by Robert Trent Jones. And just really fantastic golf courses. I have a video about Horseshoe Bay. I'll put a link to it in the comments. So if you're really interested in Horseshoe Bay, go and check that out. Now, a lot of the times I get asked what are the best fishing spots on Lake LBJ, and I've noticed in some of my data and analytics that that's what people really want to know about. So in Horseshoe Bay, like a lot of Lake LBJ, you're going to get some good fishing in the creeks up here and some of these little waterways that come off of the lake around docks, structures, stuff like that. Especially during the spawn season, fish like to get up under the docks where it's shallow and warm water, and they're protected up in there under that cover. So that's a really popular one. Also out here, there's a big granite dome right out here. I can't tell you how many thousands of hours of my life I've spent going right back and forth across this granite dome out here with my parents. It's one of my dad's favorite fishing spots, and so we've spent a lot of time just right here going across that little point there. Moving on a little bit over to the west over here, we have Sunrise Beach Village, which population of about 750, 800 people. It was established in 1973, so one of the older communities on the lake. And one of the really neat parts about Sunrise Beach is that really abundant wildlife. They have tons of deer, birds. Obviously, there's even a couple of swans that like to make their home over here in Sunrise Beach. I call them our mascots of Lake LBJ. One of them's name is Fred. They're, beautiful creatures. Just don't mess with them. They can be unfriendly at times. But Sunrise Beach has more of a laid-back small town lifestyle. Like I said, there's only about 800 people that call Sunrise Beach their full-time home, and up until recently their only convenience store in town didn't even sell gas. Thankfully, they're renovating it. They're putting in gas pumps, so that's good news for the folks who live in Sunrise Beach and who visit there. But it's just a small town, laid-back atmosphere. It's a little bit off the beaten path, as you can tell from the road here. It's kind of over here off of Ranch Road 2233, and that kind of makes it one of the more quiet areas on Lake LBJ. You don't have a lot of traffic in and out, really kind of more of a serene area. As far as fishing goes over here in Sunrise Beach, like most of the others, like anywhere on Lake LBJ, you got your docks, your structures. The fish love to get up under there, especially during spawning time. And then this here is Sandy Creek, flows into Lake LBJ. Up here, up Sandy Creek, is also some of the best bass fishing spots on Lake LBJ. Right across the water from Sunrise Beach, we have Highland Haven over here. And Highland Haven is a little bit smaller, another one of those small towns on the lake. It has a population of about 450, 500 people. And it just, as you can tell, it has some ranch land that surrounds it. And It's just a small little community on the water here. Really another one of those quiet, not a lot of traffic in and out type communities. And the fishing is going to be your best. Your bass fishing is going to be best at these creeks here and around your docks and structures. Again, especially during those spawn season, getting those spawn and pre-spawn bass. By the way, guys, this is the Living on Lake LBJ channel. If you haven't checked out our other videos, I would encourage you to do that. If you haven't checked out our other videos and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now, and go ahead and like this video as well. Really appreciate that, guys. Helps us out a ton. We'll move up the Colorado River here to the big city of Kingsland, Texas. I say city, it's not really a city. So Kingsland is actually an unincorporated community, population of about 7,000 though. So just because it's unincorporated, there's still a lot of people who live here. Kingsland is known more for its lively atmosphere, its live music and events. There is always something going on in Kingsland, from boat shows, like I said, live music. There's food and wine tasting events, fishing tournaments, car shows. There is just almost always something happening here in Kingsland. And so fishing wise, bass fishing wise, Kingsland actually happens to be one of the best areas on Lake LBJ for bass fishing, in my opinion. So one of the main areas is up here up the Colorado River. Now, careful, when you get too far up here up the river, you start running into some bigger granite boulders and stuff, a little bit more shallow. So you got to be careful. You can't run full blast, but you get a little farther up the river here, and you can get some really nice sized bass up there. One of the unknown or best hidden secrets of Lake LBJ bass fishing is this little cove right down here. Let me zoom in for you. This right here, it's not called Bullfrog Cove, ignore that, that's just Google Maps. This is actually called Chevy Cove, and some of the biggest bass in Lake LBJ have been caught up in this cove. So not to give away my secret, another fisherman's secret, but right here, if you want to catch some big bass on Lake LBJ, and I happen to know that there are also some massive, massive catfish up in this cove as well. Kingsland is also one of the better areas for crappie and catfish. People catch tons right here where the two rivers, this is the Llano River, where the Llano River and the Colorado River join here, especially like under this 1431 bridge. Great, great, great crappie fishing and catfishing. And moving on around now to finish our circle around the lake. We're going to finish it off in Granite Shoals. So you can see the little home there. Granite Shoals is where I call home. It is a community of about 5,000 people. It was incorporated in 1966. So it is the oldest community on Lake LBJ. And in fact, prior to this being called Lake Lyndon B. Johnson, it was called Lake Granite Shoals because, as you can see, the amount of shoreline the city has. It has more shoreline than any other community on the water, so that's why this used to be called Lake Granite Shoals. I have another video about Lake Granite Shoals. I'll throw a link to it as well. Encourage you to go check that out. Granite Shoals is mostly known for its parks and Texas charm. There are over 20 city parks within the city of Granite Shoals. A lot of them have boat ramps, so this is a great, what I call a lake life town on Lake LBJ and in the Texas Hill Country. It's rural, as you can tell. It's kind of surrounded by ranch land, very friendly people, strong sense of community, and like I said, it's where I call home, and it's one of the best parts of Lake LBJ because of the amount of parks they have with boat ramps, etc. And also right up here next to City Hall, you have Quarry Park. We had a carnival there last weekend. We've hosted the Texas State Men's Chili Cook-Off. Just lots of events always happening in Granite Shoals as well. And all right, guys, so to finish this off with a big picture here. So what we're looking at here is Lake LBJ. A lot of people, I think so too. It kind of looks like a dragon with, here's its head and it curls around, and tail up here. That's how it's identifiable, particularly from the air. If you happen to be flying into Austin or something, you'll know it's Lake LBJ. It looks like a dragon from the air. It's kind of neat. But one of the great things about living on Lake LBJ is our proximity to Austin. Austin is only about an hour to the east of us. San Antonio is only about an hour and a half to the south of us. So we're still close to those bigger cities and the amenities that we're used to in those big cities, but far enough out in the country, I guess you could say, to have that rural, laid-back, more style of atmosphere. One of the best parts about this area, and I've mentioned it in some of my other videos, is our year-round recreation. We have hiking trails, biking trails, fishing, wineries, state parks. You can see Inks Lake and Longhorn Cavern are listed up here. We really, even if you are not here full-time, say, even if you are here full-time and you're like, man, what do I do around the lake when it's not summertime? There's always something to do here year-round. Then, of course, during the summer, we have the lake, which, we get to enjoy the fishing, the water sports, the motorboating, if you will, the booze cruising, just relaxing and enjoying everything that the lake life has to offer. So. that does it for this week's video, guys. We are the Lake Life team. We focus primarily on Lake LBJ and Texas Hill Country real estate. We know Lake LBJ and this area inside and out. If you're thinking about making a move to this area or know somebody who is, have them reach out to us. Our contact information is in the description below. We would love to hear from you guys. We are passionate about lake living and we would really be honored to earn your business. So that does it for this week, guys. Make sure you subscribe and we'll catch you next time.